In 1976, 40 years after his famous discoveries in Java, Gustav Heinrich Ralph von Koenigswald received a visitor in his lab in the Senckenberg Research Institute and Natural History Museum, Frankfurt. Donald Johansen, who 2 years before had found the remains of the earliest upright walking hominin known then, the 3-million-year-old skeleton of Lucy from Ethiopia.
Paleoanthropologists and geneticists agree that humans and African apes are closely related, and they came from a common ancestor that lived in Africa somewhere between 6 and 10 million years ago. One of the major differences, as we see so clearly in Lucy, Australopithecus afarensis, is that she was fully upright and bipedal. Her brain was beginning to expand. But the major question that continues to haunt paleoanthropology is how and why did our ancestors become upright and walk on 2 legs?
In 1964, the earliest toolmaker, Homo habilis, was described from Olduvai Gorge, Tanzania. Gustav Heinrich Ralph von Koenigswald compared his Java fossils to the new finds and agreed with his colleague Philip Tobias from South Africa that our genus Homo originated in Africa. Since then, even older specimens of early Homo were found, such as 2.4-million-year-old Homo rudolfensis from Malawi in southeast Africa. Today, the roots of the genus Homo extend back about 2.8 million years.
The period marking the origin of our genus is represented by a group of hominin fossils that are morphologically diverse. This diversity and the emergence of our genus is the result of complex evolutionary processes such as adaptation via natural selection, genetic drift, and gene flow, all occurring within a very dynamic environment in Africa.
About 2 million years ago in Africa began the development of humans with bigger brains, known as Homo ergaster and Homo erectus. They were almost as large as we are today and probably the first endurance runners. They were the first emigrants from the African continent and over time spread all the way to Southeast Asia.
Homo erectus probably had evolved the ability to run for extended periods of time, and we can see this in several aspects of its skeleton. Like modern humans, Homo erectus had longer lower limbs and a tall, narrow body plan, huge gluteus maximus muscles, and increased joint surfaces that would have served as efficient shock absorbers. Homo erectus also had a relatively modern foot with a developed plantar arch and Achilles tendon that would have significantly enhanced their overall running economy. If Homo erectus used endurance running for persistence hunting in hot climates, they would have also needed to cool themselves. Therefore, the number of eccrine sweat glands in the skin would have increased, while body hair would have been reduced.
The Gustav Heinrich Ralph von Koenigswald hominin collection at Senckenberg comprises fossil skull fragments, lower jaws and over 70 isolated teeth. Often new facts about the life of early humans are revealed by applying novel techniques. For example, digital cutting-edge methods allow virtual access to anatomical features hidden deep inside fossil specimens.
Here in the 3D lab of the Paleoanthropology Department of Senckenberg in Frankfurt, we work with different digital techniques. For example, we have a 3D surface scanner where we create surface data, or we work with micro-CTs for internal structures.
I work on the Sangeran 2 specimen and I was able to reconstruct the inner ear by using micro-CT scans and a program called Aviso. And in comparison, the inner ear of Sangeran 2 is quite similar to modern humans.
A big advantage of virtual methods is they are non-destructive. But rarely is it justified to cut a precious hominin tooth, especially for extracting details on individual life history that is hidden in the tooth enamel on a microscopic level. Tim Bromwich of New York University has developed a portable scanning confocal optical microscope which can explore histological details even without cutting a tooth into thin slices.
Regularities of developmental timing among primates are called life history characteristics, which include the length of gestation, age at weaning, sexual maturity, and first reproduction, and lifespan. Bones and teeth mineralize growth lines into their microscopic anatomy that represent tissue formation over discrete periods of time, ranging from 1 day to 1 year. From observations of the daily or circadian and multi-day or multidian incremental lines in teeth and bone, and of annual increments in cementum, we can demonstrate that the timing and durations of all life history characteristics have increased over the course of human evolution, together with commensurate increases in body size and metabolic rate.
When teeth form during childhood, small amounts of trace elements and specific isotopes are incorporated into the mineralized tooth enamel. Even after millions of years, these chemical elements can still be detected. They may provide clues to the environment hominins lived in and what they ate.
Trace elements like strontium or barium are ingested with food and incorporated in tooth enamel because they mimic elements essential for tooth mineralization, such as calcium. With laser-based mass spectrometry, we can read the chemical signal for every single day in the development of a tooth, giving us a snapshot of an individual's childhood life. What did Homo erectus eat? When did Homo erectus wean its children? And how did the environment look like? These questions we aim to answer.
In general, the natural food resources on Java were highly diverse. But what was the dietary spectrum of Homo erectus?
Homo erectus had a large variety of possible food resources in Java. There are plenty of edible plants like fruits and seeds from the rainforest or tubers from plants near the water. And in the tropics we also have a lot of edible insects like crickets or larvae from beetles. And small animals like turtles and rats that don't need to be hunted. And we also have evidence of fish and mollusk consumption by Homo erectus in Java.
Without adding meat to their diet, humans would not have been able to develop big brains. But as carnivores, our ancestors were in competition with other predators. How did they cope?
You might be familiar with the fights between hyenas and lions over a kill. If Homo erectus in Java wanted to eat meat, he was facing competition from tigers, leopards, giant dogs, giant hyenas, and saber-toothed cats. So he had to be smart, but also collaborative to get access to the carcass and to defend it. So in this way, the predators were actually also forcing us to strengthen cooperation and making us in this way more human, bringing us one step further to become human.
Definitely, there was a lot of competition for early humans on Java. But as we will talk about in one of the later episodes, not only carnivores may have competed with Homo erectus for food.